Hi, I'm Stephen here from Archery Supplies. Today we're going to review the Sanlida Hero X10 target bow. Now when they come with this information on the back, which is really handy if you're wholesaling the bow so you can see what's in it. Now this bow is obviously right-handed and it's got the CNC machining in the riser, which I assume there's different options because one's matte and one's polished. Now this is a 50 to 60 and it goes from 27 to 29.5. There's actually 3 cams on this bow. There's 3 cams available. I think one goes from 24 to 27 and one's from 29.5 to 32. So, and then it's modules to adjust the bow. So the reason I want to show you this where I normally do the review, which is with the RRS set up and the sight fitted, is I want to show you the packaging. So this is what it looks like packaged. Now this is completely different to the last one I unboxed. So I'm not sure why Sanlida is doing 2 different types of packaging, because these bows came together. Now we'll just sort of rip it open. Now Sanlida really do nice colors in their bows, and they're all the popular colors, the reds, the golds, the blues, the blacks. I think there's an orange. Now this is really nice how they put the foam around the bow. Now the other one didn't come with this, so you know, like I know I'm going to get this thing where I saw your review and the bow had packaging all around there, then I get one I didn't. That's because each one's a little bit different. I don't know why that's the case. Right, so when I did the unboxing of the Sanlida Hero in the last video, I got lots of comments sent to me on Facebook. One was a guy in Europe whose girlfriend shoots one of these, and she shot a 50 meter round of a 695, which is higher than I shoot with this particular bow. I had other people from Canada message me and tell me they've shot 300 indoors with this bow so many times. I'm like, great, that just means you're better than me as well, which is all good for them. But I've got so many people message me and say they shoot really well with this bow, and big scores, like their scores improved as soon as they jumped to this bow and they went $1,000. It's amazing value. So now there's a few other comments which I want to share with you. So the first thing is it comes with a whole bunch of modules, which is cool, because if you brought a Hoyt and you've got to buy modules, they're going to cost you $80 a set, where these clearly come with the modules. Like, it seems to me to be obvious that both should come with modules. But the other thing which was really cool, which I didn't see last time because I didn't unbox this little package, it wasn't displayed like this, it was kind of wrapped up, was these little pegs. These are little string stops, so they hit the string. So in the last one they come with this big fat stainless steel one, which I said looks like a Bowmar one. The guy from Europe messaged me and said they come with 2 different other sizes. The thin one is your high let off, this is your medium let off, and the fat one's low let off. So what it's doing, as the bow's getting in its valley, it's stopping sooner because it's a fatter draw stop, so it's reducing your draw length. Where if you put the thin one on, it's basically more valley, so you can change the whole feel of this bow, which I really like. Now this is pretty much the same with your Hoyt bows, and the way it fits in is with a Torx or Allen key just on the end, same as a Hoyt Invicta. So I thought with this review I'm going to set it up, shoot it through Chronograph, shoot at 18, but I think what I'll also do is speed compare it to a Hoyt and the latest PSE Citation, so that way we're comparing like and like. They'll probably annoy some people, but to me it's like I'm interested in what the draw cycle's like and what sort of speeds you're going to get, and then you know what this sort of bow feels like. So with that, I'm going to set this bow up and we're going to grab a Hoyt Invicta and the new Citation and shoot those through a Chronograph. Okay, so I've bolted the arrow rest and the sight onto the Sanlida Hero. Now the first thing I noticed with this bow was the rust marks in these bolts. So a little bit disappointing. Like, it'll clean up with a bit of grease, but some customers will go, look, it's a brand new bow and there's some, you know, signs of rust. Now that's pretty common with iron. Now I was looking at this bow, I'm like, well, what's this bow like? So I grabbed a Hoyt Invicta and I put them against one another, here and here. Now what I noticed was the profiles are almost identical. And now look at the limb pockets. Let's get those together. You can see the designs are almost identical. The way they put them into the riser, the designs are almost the same. You can see the Hoyt on the side has got those things. The Sanlida's got the same things. The cable guard on the side has got 2 bolts. Sanlida's got 2 bolts. They're both adjustable. I found the similarities between both are very, very similar. So I'm going to be interested to try them out and try out the draw cycles. Yes, it's probably best to compare the PSEs as well, because what we're doing here is we're comparing a $1,000 bow to a $2,500 bow. And saying that, that's not even fair, because this bow comes with all the modules and it comes with the different draw stops to change the lead off. Now the PSE, you can obviously change the draw length and the lead off with the modules, just through rotating, but the Hoyt you've got to buy stuff. So I haven't drawn this bow, I haven't drawn the Invicta, and I haven't drawn the new PSE Citation 36, and I've got the old Perform there. So I'm just going to put a D-loop on this. Okay, so the grip on the Hero is narrow, so it kind of feels like the width of the Hoyt grip. It feels narrower than the PSE. I like these little ridges they have on the edges here, and they go smooth. It kind of feels like it gives you a position in the grip, so it feels actually quite nice. So we're just going to take a shot and see what the draw cycle's like on this bow. Now with this one here, the cables are actually served on the center. Now I think on the last one when I did the opening they weren't served, and what I noticed on this one, you can see the knock is quite loose on the center serving, so you can see it barely sticks on. So I think the center serving is probably too thin on the Sanlidas, and it needs to be made thicker, and I think that's a huge, I think the bow looks quality, and I think just little things like this detract from it, like, because all knocks are the same thickness, so like it's just a little thing, and it detracts from the overall quality of the bow. The Hoyt cams, they come with 2 types of cams. One's the fast cam and one's a slow cam. I'm going to guess this is like the fast Hoyt cam. PSE also do 2 cams. They do an EM and an EC cam. Well, they do another one as well, but for their target bows they do 2 cams. I'm going to be interested to see how the draw cycle is on this compared to, I've got both the PSEs, the soft cam and the fast cam. I've only got the one Hoyt cam here, which I think is the softer one. So I'm going to be interested to see what the speed's like and what the draw cycle's like on all these bows. So to start off with, it feels, for those first few inches, it feels a bit soft. So now it's really building and then stops. (292 feet per second). Now that's with a gold tip, gold tip velocity 400. Gold tip velocity 400, it weighs 327 grams, 90 gram point. It's the same arrow I use on all my reviews. Now I feel kind of soft at the start here, and then it builds up and there's a very short valley at the end. So there's a bit of vibration at the end when you shoot the bow, and I'm going to say it feels pretty much like the Hoyts, and we're about to shoot one. So there, it's really building there, and then it drops there. It feels 293. So you don't feel much aftershock in the shot. You feel like a little bit of a jolt forward. Doesn't feel as fast as the PSE to shoot, but it feels more than the toe point Chinese target bow. Feels significantly slower. I don't know what the speed is, so I can't remember the review, but this, it feels pretty good. But at the end it's a tiny valley, So you're going to be pulling against that wall the whole way through. This is the Hoyt Invicta. I haven't shot one before. Now the grip feels wider, and from the last one I shot, feels wider. It's got an adjustable grip which comes with the Hoyts, which is like plastic, which to me feels really good, and I like this design. Adjustable cable guard, the limb pockets look much the same, the limbs look much the same. This is a 60-pound bow. I haven't shot one before, I don't think I've shot one before, so this should be interesting. This is a 60-pound bow. The knocks on the string, look, they're better. I think just a little smidge loose as well, but definitely better than the Sanlida. And there's no serving on the cables either, so. And I didn't feel with the Elite target bow the result. I can feel the strings going through the cable slide. I couldn't feel that on the Sanlida. It was smooth all the way through. So this feels soft here. I feel like I'm about to get a valley there. Oh, I don't even feel the valley. .277. Really interesting. Significantly softer in the draw cycle. Like it's nothing, but then you get the valley and there's like, it's like, where's the valley? Let me into the valley. There's no valley. This bow the customer purchased and literally shot for a couple of weeks with it and said, can I trade it in for a Supra? I think these sell for about 2,400 and the Supra sells for 1,400. I can see why he traded it. To me it feels significantly slower. In fact, I probably prefer the feel of the Sanlida, and that's not taking anything away from the Hoyt, because if you're a Hoyt fan, you're going to say this is the best bow ever made, and I'm sure people shoot extremely well with this bow, and they do shoot particularly well with this bow. I'm just saying one-to-one where I don't know any names of the bows. This bow's easy to draw, and it's got the DCX cam, which is a softer cam. Significantly easier to draw, but when I get in the valley, I don't really feel the valley. I'm kind of looking for that valley and I don't feel it. And the speed of 277, I'm not impressed. I think there's more vibration at the end of the shot. I think here the cables, you can see there's some wear. I know the guy only shot this for a few weeks and just didn't like the feel of the shot compared to the PSE, which has got a distinctive valley, easier to shoot, I'm going to say the PSE is an easier bow to shoot if you don't shoot all the time, because you've got that valley and just sits there and you can get the shots off easy. The Hoyts to me is more for a person who shoots all the time and like pulling through the shot, because you're holding significantly more. This feels like about 60% let off, and the valley is like about that big. The Sanlida feels like about 70% let off, slightly like that much bigger valley. You can feel the difference. You can absolutely feel the difference, and the Sanlida is going to be better if you put those thinner stops on to give you a bigger valley. If you want the bigger valley, if you want that easier feel to shoot, so that's interesting. Right, this is the new PSE Citation, 36 inches. I haven't shot it before. I haven't done a review on it. This is meant to be a speed machine. I really enjoyed the PSE Perform 36. So that was a really nice bow to shoot. So let's try the draw cycle and let's see how this bow feels. Wow, look at that here. See the cable guards like really close to where my hand is, which is kind of interesting. I didn't feel that on the other two bows. Wow. So the instant you start to draw this thing, it is so much harder than the other two bows. This bow is going to be significantly faster than the other two, because I can feel it just building up in that first millimeter. It feels heavy. So this bow is going to be fast. I don't know what the IBO speeds are on it, but this bow is going to be fast. Whoa. .302. It's interesting, it starts off hard as I said, but then when you start drawing it feels the same poundage all the way through, so it kind of feels easier, especially that Sanlida. Sanlida builds up it, you know, like that much before the peak, before the valley. It starts to really build, where this builds from the very first instant and then it hits the valley, which is significantly greater than the Sanlida and the Hoyt, and when you get back there it feels so much easier to shoot. The vibration feels very similar to the Sanlida. I'm going to say probably less than the Hoyt. It feels short too, so this bow is set on the B inch. I would definitely shoot it with the A if I was going to shoot the 36, because that felt very short for me. .303. It feels significantly faster to shoot. Now it's interesting with this bow, the Citation, I gave it to one of the top 3D shooters on the state to try, and he said he found he shot well with it, but he found the draw cycle more aggressive than their Perform that he currently shoots. Now I found this draw cycle easier than the Super I shoot. It feels easier to me overall. The draw length feels shorter, but it feels easier than the Supra, and this is fully wound up. This is fully chockers. So once again, when you're choosing a bow, it gets to the feel of the bow, the feel that you're trying to get, that's easier for you to shoot. Now the guy I gave this bow to try, he said he shot well with it, but he said on the good days he shot really well, but then he found that he was probably more consistent with the Perform with the bigger cams, because it was an easier draw cycle. So the softer bow is more forgiving for him, is basically what I'm trying to say. So with that, I've got my old Perform here with the bigger cams to compare, and this bow's set on 60 pounds also. So this is the Perform set at 60 pounds. Now I shot this bow a bunch. We'll just grab this. Right, so where do I expect this bow to sit? Now I shot this bow for indoors. I shot this bow a lot, the Perform. I found the draw cycle smoother and easier. Actually, it's interesting. I've obviously given this to people to try. They've reduced the let off, so this will be on 65% let off. Now I think I shot at a higher let off. This has got the low let off module on it, the LL, so this should be interesting. So I think I shot it with the low let off module, but I think it shot it with maximum let off at about 75. So this will be about 60%. So it should feel similar to the Hoyt, but I suspect it's going to feel easier. So now the grip is wider to start with. Then I'm going to say it feels wider than the Citation. It feels wider than the Citation. I don't know if it's just my imagination. It feels wider than the Citation. Okay, so let's just try the draw cycle out. .295. Now with the Perform, with these big cams, it's definitely a lot easier at the start, and with the position of the module here, it feels very much like the Hoyt Invicta. When you get over the valley, it's a very short valley because the modules have been moved forward here, the draw stops. I'm going to say the draw cycle feels easier than the Hoyt. Not the Hoyt was bad, it just feels very easy. Definitely easier than the M cam on the Citation 36, easier than Sanlida. This is the easiest, and it's the second highest in speed. The limbs on this bow are very similar to the Sanlida and the Hoyt, where the Citation is thinned down here and it's a longer pivot on the Citation. Citation being significantly faster than the others. We're talking about 10 feet per second faster. So very interesting. It'd be interesting to set them all up as target bows and actually shoot target and compare them 1-to-1. But with that, what we're going to do now is we're going to shoot the Sanlida Hero at 18 meters. I suppose my summary of that is, when you're buying a bow, check them out and see what you like the feel of. I could shoot any of these 4 bows and I think I could shoot them fine. I prefer more valley. I prefer that to feel it go into the valley and feel like I've hit that spot. So I prefer a longer valley. If I was going to shoot this, I'd shoot it a longer valley. I'd probably shoot the Sanlida in the medium setting, and I'd probably shoot the Citation just how it is because I like the valley, the way the valley's currently set. What's interesting on the Citation 36 is, and I just looked, this doesn't have the draw length adjustment here. It's set, you can't adjust it. And this is set on 70%, so that's interesting. On the other PSEs you can actually adjust it, but I rather like the way this shot. I didn't mind the draw cycle, and we'll do a review on the Citation 36 shortly, where we sort of set it up and shoot it. Okay, so I'm back here at 18 meters and I've sighted the bow in, so let's hope they go in the middle. Now, it did take me a bit of time to get in the middle. Now, one thing I noticed when I'm shooting is the bow seems really steady when I'm aiming. It feels like it's a deflex rise, or it feels like the limbs are back here and it's just aiming. It feels really comfortable. The grip I really like. I don't know if it's the best of the grips, but I really like it. I like the Hoyt Invicta grip with the adjustable angles. I like the rubber on the Hoyt grip. Really like that. I'm comfortable with the PSE grip. I don't know if it's these edges here or the shape. It feels really comfortable to me. The width feels really good. Huge fan of this grip. The draw cycle I'm not such a fan of because it gets hard just before the peak, and that's when I kind of wanting to slow down my draw cycle to get ready for the valley, and then it kind of hits the valley straight away. So it seems to get hard just before the valley, and I don't know, like, I think I'll shoot well with it, so let's sort of see how it goes. Now I aimed that one a little bit low. What I'm finding is, because it's got the low let off, I'm kind of wanting to pull forward. Like, I feel like I'm pulling against the bow all the time. I feel like the draw length is long for me. You can see it's on the second setting, so it's on 29, but this feels like a long 29. I would probably shoot this bow on 28.5. Where some bows, like the Citation 36, felt particularly short, so I'd shoot that on the maximum draw length. Now that actually felt like a good shot. I'm happy with the vibration when it comes off, when it's shot. There's no string dampeners here. I could probably feel a little bit deader in the hand with a string dampener on it. I probably prefer the feel of the Supra when I shoot it as far as the recoil forward, but it's very similar. I'm really struggling to pick the difference. The thing I do notice is the difference in the draw cycle. Now I'm going to guess, I don't know if it's just me or what, but if you're familiar with the Hoyt draw cycle, you probably like it. If you like the PSE draw cycle, you probably like it. But all up, I'm going to say the PSE with the big cam has got the best draw cycle. Of all these bows, I am struggling with this bow just before peak. I don't know if you can see it when I'm drawing, but I am struggling with it. And I'm feeling that's making me a little bit, I prefer the build up quicker at the start and then sort of becoming easier towards the end. Now there was a fair bit of wind in that shot and it still went in the middle. I feel like it's about 60% let off. I don't know what it is, but it feels like 60%. I like the bow, I like the collars, I like the feel. I'm just not a fan of this draw cycle. Maybe it's better if I shorten the draw cycle. I definitely fit the smaller ones of these to give myself more valley. So I definitely increased the valley on this particular bow, and I shortened the draw length as well. When you shoot it, it feels shot when you shoot it. So when my friends message me about this bow, that the scores they've shot and shooting this bow, I totally get it. I can't see why you would shoot not as good with this bow as your $2,000 bows. You can see me sort of, because it's peaking there, and I'm getting to my anchor point just there, so it's peaking just before I get to my anchor point. I want it peaking here, and then I want to be settling into my anchor point. That's why I'm finding this a little bit harder to shoot. But I think I'm shooting it pretty well. Like I said, I like it shorter. So my thing when I think about this bow, $1,000 compared to the $2,500 American top of the line target bows or the PSE Supra, like, so there's no question this bow will shoot. I'm probably going to say the strings aren't as good quality as the American products. I'm happy with the finish. I suppose my question's going to be the customer service. If you have a problem with the Sanlida, what's going to happen? What's the warranty going to be? What's the customer service going to be? And I can only tell you about my past experience with Sanlida, and it may have changed, but this is the thing that you as a consumer have to go, how much do I value that? How much do I value that if this cable guard breaks, what happens if I can't get a part for it? Can Sanlida, is there a dealer who has these in stock anywhere in the world? Because if there's a dealer anywhere in the world with these in stock, you can get them, right? But my point is, I cannot find this anywhere in the world, this replacement part. If a part breaks on your Hoyt, you can literally ring up Hoyt or PSE and say, look, I need a cable guard, and they will probably send it out to a local dealer and you'll be looked after. You might have to wait a couple of weeks, you might have to wait 6 weeks. Let's say you wait 8 weeks. Doesn't really matter. You know it's going to be looked after. I suppose that's the reassurance you need with this bow. You need the reassurance that a dealer and Sanlida is going to look after you. And that's the difference in price between the $1,000 and the $2,400. Now I think this is a solid product. I can see very little problems with this cable guard, very little problems with the risers, the limbs of the American glass limb, very few problems with that. Strings aren't covered, so it doesn't really matter. Look, I think this will be a pretty solid bow, but you're running the risk. With the American product, you go, if I have a problem, it's going to be looked after. So always bear that in mind when you sort of buy a product. I mean, just on the Chinese products. So I import from a few Chinese manufacturers, and I have had issues with warranty with Chinese products, and I'm going to say they were pretty good. I mean, you might have to wait for them to be made, you might have to wait for them to ship in and all that sort of stuff, but some of them will ship the exact product in pretty quick. So I had some people break some limbs on some various Chinese bows. They ship those limbs in pretty quick, and I can tell you what, the parts were really cheap. So let's say for a set of Hoyt limbs, I'm going to pull a number out the air, let's say that's $600 for a set of Hoyt limbs or $400 for a set of PSE limbs. The Chinese equivalent, which are the American limbs, might be, you know, $100, rough point. The cams on a Hoyt might be $400. The cams for a Chinese bow might be $80, it might be $60. Significantly cheaper for the parts. The problem is, can you get the parts? And I think that's the challenge for Sanlida. They need to be able to step up and service their products and have dealers to service their products. And my point is probably where I started this video, or the other video, is the dealer in Australia for this product is not even a dealer, he's an eBay store. And he doesn't carry anything in stock. So it's like, well, and he's got the exclusive for this brand. I'm not having a go at him, and I probably sound like I am, but that's what you're kind of dealing with. And I know when people message me from Europe, it was the same message that I got. You know, they were trying to get their dealers set up with Sanlida to get all the parts in for them to be looked after, because they liked the bow, they liked the product, they liked the way it shot, and they were shooting well with it, but they struggled to get from the point where you had the service that you get with the American products. Now I'm going to say with some Chinese products too, when I get warranty claims with them, I don't even bother making claims with China because it's just a nightmare. So sometimes I just wear the cost. And you hope that you don't get too many of them, and if you do get too many, you stop dealing that product. Now I had that with an arrow rest made in China. I no longer sell it because I had too many warranty claims with the product, so I just don't sell it anymore. I let the other dealers deal with that problem because I feel when you make $5 on a rest or $10 on an arrow rest, you've got to sell so many to cover all the warranties, and if you're getting a high percentage of returns, you're just losing money. So I just then don't deal with them. So that was a rough shot. I think I was struggling with that shot, getting it off. It doesn't feel as comfortable to me shooting this bow as many other bows I've shot. It feels very much like not the Hoyt with the DCX cams, it feels like the Hoyt with the fast cams to shoot. Like I shoot well with it, but I feel like you've got to shoot this bow all the time to shoot well. Let's just shoot one more. Look, overall I think the bow has amazing value. It really is. I think the technology in here is equivalent, similar to what you see in the modern bows. I've seen the whole debate about the patents for this bow and, you know, who's got the patents, who owns the patents. Sanlida report on what patents is in this bow. Look, it means nothing to me. I don't look up patents. They claim they're covered. I'll let the Hoyt and PSE and whoever owns these patents deal with it with the companies. But overall the bow feels nice to shoot. The draw cycle is very much like the Hoyt SVX, so if you shoot the Hoyt SVX, I think you'll find that very similar. The grip is very similar. I'm going to say the bow probably feels similar to a Hoyt to shoot. I'm going to say the draw cycle and the PSE I think is easier, and I'm more familiar with it and probably more comfortable with it. I think the draw cycle and the Elite Result is probably a little bit easier than this. The weight feels good, like it probably feels like 4.7, 4.6. It feels good. The finish looks good, and I think for the price it's amazing value. So I think overall it gets back to the customer service and Sanlida being able to provide these bows, and that means ship them out to people, ship them out to dealers, have dealers and distributors who have these things in stock and have the spare parts in stock to back them up. So there would, I think for Sanlida to make a leap forward, you need an American distributor selling this product, having all these bits in stock, having the cable guards, having the limbs, having the cams, the strings in stock. I mean, you know, you've got black strings here, you've got a green bow, let's have green strings. Sanlida should have green strings, they should have red strings, they should have blue strings, they should have these things for sale because they're cheap, right? They should say, well, here's a set of strings for your bow, they're going to cost you 70 bucks. Well, you can buy the American strings for $200 a set, or you can buy our strings for $70 a set. It then makes people go, well, I can have a green set of strings, and it's value. So overall, I'm very happy with the product. Price is amazing. I just think those little bits, I feel like it's missing the 2% or the 3% to make this bow jump. So let's go and have a look at the group. Well, like I can't get my hands around the whole group, but look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 arrows out of the 10, and that's with a hunting bow on a draw length I think's too long. So yes, it's not my friends from Canada's 300 that he shoots, but he's shooting target stabilizers and scopes, draw length set up for him. Do I think I can shoot a 300 with this bow? Well, I struggle to shoot 300, but I think I could shoot as well with this Sanlida Hero as pretty much any other bow. I'd like to tinker with it, shorten the draw length, crease the lead off, so it's comfortable for me, fit all the target bits, and I think I can shoot pretty well with it. Now, Sanlida also have matching stabilizers out. Now, I don't know what they're like. I've seen pictures of them. I haven't seen them, as far as I haven't touched them. I don't know if anyone stocks them, but they look pretty awesome on the bow as well. They have blade arrow rests, which look really good. They have target sights, which look good. They have release age, which look good. So I think they're producing a whole bunch of products for their bows which look good. I think this bow is very, very good. I don't know where the company will go. I don't know whether it will develop to an eBay company where they just, you know, they ship out. And I've seen a guy in America who works for Sanlida shipping bows directly to customers, including the postage, which basically cuts out the dealers in America, so no dealers are going to promote this product. I don't think that's the way to go. I think the way to go is to have dealers promoting the product. If you are going to have a Chinese, I'm going to say a Chinese person just sending the bows directly to customers, he needs to have everything in stock. He needs to have the cable guards, he needs to have limbs and all that sort of stuff in stock. It's basically the Tesla model, where you get rid of dealers. I think dealers are critical to the network to teach people how to shoot, get people into the sport, so they learn to shoot, they don't dry fire the bows, they get taught, they know how to set up the bows. I think that's critical in archery, because too many people grab a bow, they dry fire it and don't learn to shoot, and the whole thing falls in a heap. So overall, love the bow. I'm a little bit questionable about the customer service, product support that Sanlida provide, but that's up to you to decide. I don't know what the warranty is or how you go about getting warranty for a Sanlida. ask your dealer before you buy one, and just bear in mind that I've flagged that as an issue. Overall, I think he'll shoot extremely well, and I think if you pay $1,000 for this bow, which is less than half price of the American products, you can buy 2 of them, and it's pretty good value. I think the chances of something going wrong on this bow is remote. I would feel very, very comfortable this bow is going to be solid. Most failures on bows happen through pressing or dry fire. So, you know, if you're going to press it, wind down the bow, don't press it too much, and don't dry fire the bow. But overall, love it. Draw cycle, like I said, I think the PSE is a better draw cycle. I think the Elite's a better draw cycle, but still, I'd be more than happy to shoot this bow. And I think the results kind of speak for themselves, and it's pretty windy out here today too. So I'm Stephen Ham from Archery Supplies. Enjoy archery, and I hope that's been helpful. Thanks for watching.